Hey everyone, and welcome to the IELTS Focus. Today we are diving deep into one of the biggest IELTS writing topics, education. I'm going to give you 10, that's right, 10 banned 9.0 arguments that you can use. So let's get right into it. Okay, so what's the secret sauce for every single high-scoring argument? It's this powerful structure right here. PEEL. That's point, explain, example, and link. Honestly, this is your key to writing a super clear, logical paragraph. And today we're going to use it to build out 10 complete arguments all about how schools shape a child's character.
All right, first step, let's tackle our first pillar, personal character. We're going to look at how schools really forge who we are as individuals. Think about things like discipline, independence, the really core stuff.
Okay, let's kick things off with our very first argument, all about discipline, and break it down using PEEL. So the point is super simple. Schools teach discipline. How? Well, that's our explanation. The daily grind of timetables, assignments, and rules. A perfect example? Having to hand in your homework on time. It teaches you that actions have consequences, right? And finally, the link. This is where we tie it all together with some really impressive vocabulary. And yeah, let's really zoom in on that last part. This phrase right here, cultivate responsible individuals. This is pure gold. It's just so much more sophisticated than saying it makes people responsible. This is the kind of language that really pushes your score up into that band 9 territory. All right, moving on to our next point, independence. The point is clear. Schools foster independence. The explanation is that unlike at home where parents might help, here students have to solve problems on their own. A fantastic example is an independent research project. It really builds those decision-making skills. And the link? It wraps it all up beautifully, saying this nurtures autonomy and self-reliance. Schools are also this incredible, safe space for learning how to handle your emotions. So our point is all about emotional regulation. The explanation is that students get to experience both success and failure. For example, think about not winning a school competition, but getting really good, constructive feedback instead. That builds resilience. And all of this links directly to strengthening emotional maturity. And it's not just about specific lessons. The whole structure of school is designed to instill a strong work ethic. The point here is all about learning the value of effort. Our explanation is how things like regular tests and structured tasks reinforce this. The example of studying for exams is perfect. It shows that consistent work leads to better results. And the link here is so powerful. Students internalize this idea. It becomes a part of them. Okay, so we've covered personal character. Now let's move on to our second pillar, social competence. Here, we're going to zoom out a bit, from just the individual to how students learn to interact with everyone else, with society. So a huge part of school is, of course, learning how to get along with people. That's our point, developing social skills. We can explain this by pointing out that classrooms are full of kids from all different backgrounds. A perfect example is any group project, right? It's like a little training ground for negotiating and solving problems. And all that practical experience links to the final outcome. And let's put a spotlight on that linking phrase again. Socially competent individuals. See how clean and academic that sounds? It perfectly sums up the whole paragraph. Using phrases like this really shows the examiner you have a strong command of the language. School is about so much more than just books and numbers. It's a really crucial place for moral development. The point is simple. Schools shape our morals. The explanation is that this happens through both direct teaching and teachers just being good role models. A really powerful example is when a teacher deals with bullying head-on. That sends a clear message. This all links to forming an ethical character. Schools are also like these amazing incubators for future leaders. Our point is that they're a place for leadership development. The explanation is that they offer hands-on practice through things like student council or other clubs. A really simple example is the class monitor, who learns to handle disputes and represent others. So the link is clear. Schools actively cultivate these leadership qualities right from the start. Okay, and to wrap up this section, let's talk about community. Our point is that schools teach the importance of community values. The explanation is that all those shared activities, sports days, school plays, create a sense of belonging. A school charity event is a perfect example of this, teaching compassion and civic duty. And the link, therefore, is that schools mold children into being socially responsible members of society. All right, on to our third and final pillar, intellectual growth. This is all about the brainy stuff. The cognitive skills like critical thinking and cultural awareness that are just so essential for the modern world. A core mission of education isn't just to teach students what to think, but how to think. And that's our point. developing critical thinking. The explanation is that good teachers encourage curiosity. They encourage you to ask why. Classroom debates are a fantastic example of this in action. You have to use evidence, build a logical argument. This whole process links to shaping a very specific kind of person, which you can describe with some very precise language. And here's that phrase, analytical and reflective individuals. This is just a fantastic, sophisticated way to put it. Analytical means you can break things down, and reflective means you can think deeply about them. Seriously, that is band 9 vocabulary right there. And here we are, our final argument. Our point is that schools are vital for broadening cultural awareness. The explanation is all about getting exposure to different traditions and points of view. Something as simple as celebrating an international day at school is a great example. And the ultimate result, our link, is that schools help shape open-minded individuals. So let's pull all of this together. What's the big advantage for you in your IELTS exam? Well, first, you've now got a toolkit of ideas ready to go. That's going to save you so much time. Second, you have some seriously high-level vocabulary, phrases like nurture autonomy, that will boost your score. And third, by using that peel structure, you're showing the examiner clear, logical thinking, which is exactly what they're looking for.
So there you have it, a complete breakdown of 10 powerful arguments. The big question now is, which of these are you going to try in your next practice essay? Because look, knowing this stuff is great, but applying it is what really matters. So go on, pick one of these arguments, write it out using PEL, and really make it your own. That right there is how you're going to get a higher writing score.